Steve Merrill joining us from ProSportsInfo.com. Please join him there. He's a 20-plus year veteran in picking the games, football, baseball, and basketball. Great insight that he's provided us during the latter portion of the college and NFL season. So let's move on to a sort of prop bet, but one of the more popular ones, certainly, and one of the more standardized ones would be the Heisman Trophy. And of course, this was a running back award for so many years until the game changed about 15 years ago. And now the quarterbacks own it. So what have we seen out of the early Heisman odds, Steve?
Yeah, what's interesting about the Heisman odds is basically you have to look at quarterbacks. You know, in the Super Bowl, we always talk about the MVP being a quarterback. The Heisman odds in recent years is pretty much quarterbacks as well because it's such a pass-heavy, college football has become a pass-heavy league now. One thing I will say about the Heisman odds, though, is it's not only necessarily playing the favorites. With any future odds, we talked about this the other week in general with, college football futures. You always want to kind of look for some long shots. You want to look for, plus money in the 20, 30, 50 to 1 range. Because if you're going to tie your bankroll up for 7, 8, 9 months, it's not worth it to do it with a 2 to 1 favorite like Alabama, for example, to win the title. You want to do it with a team that you think is maybe has some value and you can hedge with. Also, it's a lot of times the guys that win the Heisman aren't even on the radar yet. You look a few years back, Cam Newton and Johnny Manziel both win the Heisman. Neither one was even listed as a starting quarterback in the preseason annuals in the spring at the time we're talking about this right now. So I like to look for long shots. With that said, I think Baker Mayfield was like third on the list this past year. It wasn't much of a long shot. And, for that reason, we've started to see some of the favorites come out. And I think that'll probably be the case this year. There'll probably be a sleeper or two that comes off the list. Jonathan Taylor right now is like at 7 to 1. We see some running backs on the list this year. Bryce Love is a 7 to 1 favorite in a lot of books, the running back from Stanford. So this is the one year where there's not really a dominant quarterback in the preseason odds, and we have more running backs. But historically, a quarterback is the way you do want to look with the Heisman odds.
Interesting stuff there from Steve Merrill joining us from Pro Sports Info. So I highly encourage you to check out his website, ProSportsInfo.com. Just the insight that he's provided us here over the last several weeks on the college and NFL game has been tremendous. I could talk about this all day and continue to pick your brain. Steve, we know you've got a lot going on. We appreciate the time. Enjoy the game, and I hope things work out for you.
Thanks, Mark.